Welcome to the USA. Hello, friends. Today, we're going on an incredible adventure, a journey across a vast and wonderful country called the United States of America. You might have heard it called the USA or just America. It's a place full of amazing stories, incredible sights, and people from all walks of life. Imagine we have a giant globe spinning right in front of us. If we look for the continent of North America, nestled right between the vast Pacific Ocean on one side and the mighty Atlantic Ocean on the other, we'll find the USA. It's a big country, sharing long, friendly borders with its neighbors, Canada to the north and Mexico to the south. The United States isn't just one single piece of land. It's actually made up of 50 different parts called states. Think of it like a giant puzzle, where each state is a unique piece that fits together to create the whole picture of the country. 48 of these states are connected together, but there are two that are a little different. Alaska is way up in the northwest corner of North America, a land of icy glaciers and towering mountains. And way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean is Hawaii, a beautiful chain of tropical islands formed by volcanoes. Together, all 50 of these states create one nation, full of diverse people and places to explore. Now that we know where the USA is, let's think about what makes it so special. It's more than just a place on a map. It's an idea. It's a country built on the dream of freedom and opportunity, a place where people believe they can create a better life for themselves and their families. This idea has attracted people from every corner of the globe for hundreds of years, making the USA a vibrant mix of cultures, traditions, and ideas. Our journey today will be like opening a wonderful book, with each page revealing something new and exciting about this fascinating country. So, get ready to explore because you don't have to take my word for it. Our adventure will take us from towering skyscrapers to wide open plains, from sunny beaches to snowy mountain peaks. We will learn about the symbols that represent the country's history and values. We'll discover how its government works and meet some of the people who make it a lively and interesting place to live. We'll even get to taste some of its famous foods and listen to the music that makes people want to tap their feet. The United States is a land of endless stories, and we're just about to turn the first page. Are you ready? Let's begin our 10-minute trip across America and see what wonders we can find together. One of the first things you might notice about the United States is its beautiful flag. It's known by many names: the Stars and Stripes, Old Glory, or the Star-Spangled Banner. But no matter what you call it, this flag is a powerful symbol that tells a story about the country's history and its people. Every part of the flag has a special meaning. When you see it waving in the breeze, it's like reading a history book without any words. The colors themselves are important. Red stands for courage and strength, white represents purity and innocence, and blue signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. These are the values that the country strives to uphold. Let's look closer at the design. You'll see 13 horizontal stripes, 7 red and 6 white. These stripes represent the original 13 colonies that came together to form the very first version of the United States a long, long time ago. These were the brave communities that declared their independence and started a new nation. So, every time you see those stripes, you can remember the foundation of the country and the 13 colonies that started it all. They are a reminder of where the nation began and the courage it took for those early Americans to create something entirely new in the world. Now let's turn our attention to the blue rectangle in the top left corner. This area is called the Canton, and it's filled with 50 white stars. Can you guess what each star represents? That's right. Each star stands for one of the 50 states that make up the United States today. From Alaska to Florida, from California to Maine, every single state has its own star shining brightly on the flag. This part of the flag has changed over the years. As the country grew and new states were added, more stars were added to the flag to represent them. It's a living piece of history. So the flag is much more than just a piece of colored cloth. It's a symbol of unity, showing how 50 individual states come together to form one strong nation. It's a tribute to the country's past and a promise for its future. People in America show respect for the flag in many ways. You'll see it flying high above schools, government buildings, and people's homes. At sporting events or parades, people might place their hands over their hearts when the flag passes by. It represents the shared hopes and dreams of millions of Americans, a beautiful and powerful story told in stars and stripes. If we were to fly in a magical balloon all the way across the United States, we would see some of the most breathtaking landscapes you can imagine. The country is so enormous that it has almost every type of environment. On the East Coast, where the country first began, you'll find beautiful sandy beaches stretching along the Atlantic Ocean. As you travel inland, you'll discover the rolling Appalachian Mountains, which are among the oldest mountains in the world. They are covered in lush green forests that turn into a spectacular rainbow of red, orange, and yellow in the autumn. This region is full of history, with charming old towns and winding rivers. As our balloon floats westward, we leave the eastern forests behind and enter the heartland of America. Here, the land flattens out into vast, wide-open plains and prairies. This area is often called the breadbasket of the country because farmers here grow enormous fields of wheat, corn, and other grains that feed people all across the nation and the world. In the middle of the country flows the mighty Mississippi River, one of the longest rivers on the entire planet. It acts like a great watery highway, carrying boats and barges on its long journey south to the Gulf of Mexico. Continuing our journey west, the ground begins to rise again, and soon we are soaring over the magnificent Rocky Mountains. These mountains are much younger and more rugged than the Appalachians. Their sharp, jagged peaks are often covered in snow, even in the summertime. This is a paradise for hikers, skiers, and anyone who loves the great outdoors. Hidden among these mountains are incredible natural wonders, like Yellowstone National Park, with its bubbling geysers and amazing wildlife, including bears, elk, and bison. The scenery here is so grand and powerful that it can make you feel very small in comparison. Finally, our balloon reaches the west coast, where the land meets the deep blue Pacific Ocean. Here you can find everything from the scorching deserts of the Southwest, with amazing places like the Grand Canyon, a gigantic canyon carved by the Colorado River over millions of years, to the towering redwood forests of California and the rainy green landscapes of Oregon and Washington. And don't forget the unique landscapes of Alaska with its massive glaciers and the highest mountain in North America, or the volcanic islands and tropical rainforests of Hawaii. The United States truly is a land of incredible natural beauty, with a new adventure waiting around every corner. While America is famous for its natural wonders, it's also home to some of the most exciting and famous cities in the world. These cities are bustling centers of culture, business, art, and innovation. On the East Coast, you'll find New York City, a place often called the Big Apple. It's famous for its towering skyscrapers that seem to touch the clouds, like the Empire State Building. New York City is a place where you can see a Broadway show, visit world-class museums, and see the iconic Statue of Liberty, a symbol of freedom that has welcomed immigrants for generations. It's a city that never sleeps, with energy buzzing through its streets day and night. Traveling south along the coast, you'll come to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This city is different from others because it's the center of the U.S. government. Here you can visit the White House, where the president lives and works, and the Capitol building, where laws are made. The city is filled with impressive monuments and memorials that honor important American leaders and historical events, like the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. It's a city designed to remind people of the country's history and the principles of its democracy, a place where you can walk in the footsteps of history. If we head to the Midwest, we'll find Chicago, the Windy City, sitting on the shores of the massive Lake Michigan. Chicago is famous for its incredible architecture, with some of the first skyscrapers ever built. It's a city that loves its sports, its deep dish pizza, and its amazing blues music. Further south, in Louisiana, is the city of New Orleans. This city has a unique culture all its own, with a mix of French, Spanish, and African influences. It's the birthplace of jazz music, and its streets are often filled with the sounds of trumpets and trombones. New Orleans is also famous for its festive Mardi Gras celebration and delicious Cajun food. Out on the West Coast, Los Angeles or LA is the heart of the country's movie and entertainment industry. You can visit Hollywood and see the famous sign on the hill or find the stars of your favorite actors on the Walk of Fame. LA is a sprawling city with beautiful beaches, sunny weather, and a diverse population from all over the world. Further north is San Francisco, known for its iconic Golden Gate Bridge, rolling hills, and historic cable cars. Each American city has its own personality and story to tell, making them exciting places to visit and explore the vibrant pulse of the nation. Now, you might be wondering, with 50 states and so many different people, how does the United States stay organized? Well, that's where the government comes in. The system of government in the USA is a special type called a democracy. This means that the people have the power to choose their leaders by voting. The country's founders wrote down all the rules for the government in a very important document called the Constitution. This document, written over 200 years ago, acts as a rule book to make sure the government is fair and that the rights of all citizens are protected. It's the foundation for all the laws in the country. The government is divided into 3 main branches, or parts, to make sure no single person or group has too much power. This is called the separation of powers. The first branch is the legislative branch, which is called Congress. Congress is made up of 2 parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Their main job is to write and vote on laws for the whole country. The second branch is the executive branch, which is led by the president. The president's job is to make sure the laws passed by Congress are carried out and to lead the country. The president is also the commander-in-chief of the military. The third branch is the judicial branch, which is made up of courts all over the country. The highest court is the Supreme Court. The job of the courts and its judges is to interpret the laws and make sure they are applied fairly. They also decide if a law follows the rules set out in the Constitution. These 3 branches work together in a system of checks and balances, meaning each branch can check or limit the power of the others. This helps keep the government balanced and prevents any one part from becoming too powerful, protecting the freedom of the people. While the national government in Washington, D.C. makes laws for the whole country, each of the 50 states also has its own government. Each state has its own governor, who is kind of like the president of the state, its own legislature to make state laws, and its own courts. This allows states to make rules about things that affect people locally, like schools, roads, and parks. So, Americans are citizens of both the United States and their own state. This unique system, where power is shared between the national and state governments, is called federalism, and it's a key part of what makes the U.S. government work. One of the most enjoyable ways to learn about a country's culture is through its holidays and celebrations. In the United States, there are many special days throughout the year when people take a break from work and school to remember important events, honor people, and spend time with family and friends. These celebrations are filled with fun traditions, delicious food, and a wonderful sense of community. From fireworks in the summer to cozy family gatherings in the winter, American holidays are a big part of what makes life in the USA so vibrant and full of shared experiences. One of the biggest celebrations is the 4th of July, also known as Independence Day. This holiday celebrates the day in 1776 when the United States declared itself a new, independent nation. On this day, the whole country turns into a giant party decorated in red, white, and blue. Families and friends gather for picnics and barbecues, enjoying foods like hot dogs and watermelon. Parades march down main streets with marching bands and colorful floats. As the sun sets, the sky lights up with spectacular fireworks displays, a booming, sparkling tribute to the nation's birthday. It's a day of national pride and summer fun. In late November, Americans celebrate Thanksgiving. This holiday has its roots in a feast shared between the early settlers, known as the Pilgrims, and the Native Americans who helped them survive their first difficult year in the new land. Today, Thanksgiving is a time for families to come together, no matter how far apart they live, and give thanks for all the good things in their lives. The centerpiece of the meal is usually a big roasted turkey served with side dishes like stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie. Many families have their own special traditions, like watching football or sharing what they are most thankful for. As the year comes to a close, many Americans celebrate Christmas on December 25th, a holiday that honors the birth of Jesus Christ. Even for those who are not religious, it has become a time of festive cheer and goodwill. People decorate their homes with twinkling lights and evergreen trees adorned with ornaments. They exchange gifts with loved ones and sing Christmas carols. Other winter holidays are also celebrated, like Hanukkah by Jewish Americans and Kwanzaa by many African Americans. Another fun holiday is Halloween on October 31st, when children dress up in costumes and go trick-or-treating for candy, a spooky and sweet tradition loved by kids everywhere. Americans have always been known for their creativity and ingenuity, a fancy word for being clever and inventive. Throughout history, American inventors have come up with ideas that have changed the world. Think about the light bulb, invented by Thomas Edison, which lets us light up our homes with the flip of a switch. Or consider the telephone, patented by Alexander Graham Bell, which first made it possible to talk to someone far away. And we can't forget the airplane, first flown by the Wright brothers, which opened up the entire world to travel. These inventions, and many others like the personal computer, have transformed how people everywhere live, work, and connect with each other. This creativity also extends to the kitchen. American food is a delicious mix of influences from all over the world, but it also has some classic dishes that are famous everywhere. What's more American than a hamburger or a hot dog, especially at a summer barbecue or a baseball game? Then there's pizza, which was perfected by Italian immigrants in cities like New York and Chicago, and fried chicken with roots in the American South. And let's not forget about the sweet treats. Apple pie is a classic dessert, often served warm with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Chocolate chip cookies, a happy accident by a Massachusetts innkeeper, are another beloved American creation. Just like its food, American music is a rich tapestry woven from many different threads. Many of the world's most popular music styles were born right here in the USA. Jazz music, with its cool rhythms and improvisational solos, started in New Orleans. The blues, with its soulful and emotional stories, grew out of the experiences of African Americans in the South. This led to the birth of rock and roll, a high-energy sound pioneered by artists like Elvis Presley that got the whole world dancing. From country music in Nashville to hip-hop in the Bronx, American music has a beat for everyone. This spirit of American ingenuity and fun can also be seen in its favorite pastimes. The sport of baseball is known as America's pastime, a game of bats, balls, and home runs that has been loved for generations. Basketball, another American invention, is now played and watched by millions of people all over the globe. And of course, there's American football, a uniquely thrilling and strategic sport that captures the nation's attention every autumn. From brilliant inventions to delicious food and toe-tapping music, the creative spirit of America has given the world many wonderful things to enjoy. One of the most special and important things about the United States is its people. If you were to walk down the street in a big American city, you would see people whose families originally came from every single continent on Earth. For centuries, people have immigrated to America, meaning they have moved here from other countries to start a new life. They came seeking freedom, opportunity, and a chance to build a better future. This constant arrival of new people with different backgrounds, cultures, and ideas is what makes the United States such a dynamic and diverse place. It's often called a melting pot. Imagine a big pot where you add lots of different ingredients to make a delicious soup. Each ingredient adds its own special flavor, but they all blend together to create something new and wonderful. That's what the idea of the American melting pot is like. People from countries like Ireland, Italy, Germany, China, Mexico, India, Nigeria, and so many others have brought their own traditions, languages, foods, and holidays with them. Over time, these cultures have mixed and mingled, influencing each other and creating a unique American culture that is a blend of the whole world. This diversity is one of the country's greatest strengths. This incredible diversity is something you can see, hear, and taste everywhere in America. You can celebrate Chinese New Year with a dragon parade in San Francisco, enjoy a delicious taco from a food truck in Los Angeles that tastes just like it does in Mexico, or listen to Irish folk music in a pub in Boston. In schools, children learn and play alongside classmates from dozens of different backgrounds, sharing their family stories and traditions. This everyday interaction helps people learn to understand and respect different cultures, making the community richer and more interesting for everyone involved. Of course, blending so many different cultures together isn't always easy, and America's history has had its challenges with making sure everyone is treated fairly and with respect. but the country's promise is that it is a place where your background doesn't determine your future. The famous statue in New York Harbor, the Statue of Liberty, holds a torch high and has a poem that welcomes people from all lands. It symbolizes the dream that in America, people from all nations can come together, contribute their talents, and be part of one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, our 10-minute journey across the United States is coming to an end. We've traveled from the Atlantic to the Pacific, seeing everything from majestic mountains to bustling cities. We've learned that the American flag, with its stars and stripes, is a beautiful symbol of the country's history and its 50 United States. It tells a story of how 13 colonies grew into a vast and diverse nation. The sheer size and variety of the American landscape mean that there is always something new to see, whether it's a deep canyon, a mighty river, or a forest of giant trees. It's a country built for explorers. We discovered that the United States is a democracy, where the people have the power to choose their leaders, and the government is carefully designed with a constitution and 3 branches to protect everyone's freedom. We also saw how Americans love to celebrate, with holidays like the 4th of July and Thanksgiving bringing families and communities together with fun traditions and delicious food. These celebrations are a window into the heart of American culture, showing what the people value: family, freedom, and gratitude. This spirit of community is a vital part of the nation's identity. We also talked about the incredible creativity of the American people. From world-changing inventions like the light bulb and the airplane, to the globally popular sounds of jazz, rock and roll, and hip-hop, America's influence can be seen and heard around the world. And who could forget the food? Hamburgers, pizza, and apple pie are just a few of the tastes that have become part of the global menu. This spirit of innovation and cultural creation continues to this day, making the USA a place where new ideas are always bubbling to the surface. But perhaps the most important thing we learned is that America's story is the story of its people. It is a nation built by immigrants from every corner of the globe, a great melting pot of cultures that creates a vibrant and ever-changing society. This diversity is what makes the United States so interesting and so important. It is a country full of challenges, but also full of hope and endless possibilities. It's a grand experiment in bringing people together, and that is why it remains a fascinating country that people all over the world want to learn about. The adventure never really ends.